Hey, I'm Toby Ryan, and this is Punish. The first thing I notice is there is a lot going on under the hood to achieve this. I often find myself exploring different effects chains and trying out various combinations in search of a specific sound. But once that magic combination happens, it's like, oh, that's it. That's the sound I've been after. Then the feeling behind the music becomes so much more inspiring. As you already know, it's rarely going to be just one effect and more often multiple effects in series, referred to as a chain of analog hardware or plugins to achieve a desired effect. And that is where the beauty of Punish comes in. Let's hear some of these individual effects in action. We'll start off with the three individual compressors known in the industry for their tonal characteristics, such as the console Class A bus compressor. The modern fat aggressive compressor, and a classic warm vintage FET compressor. If you love gear like me, I encourage you to read about those kinds of compressors to learn a little more history behind why these specific units are sought after and used by professional engineers. It makes these selections much more special. As far as tweaking goes, there's no wrong way to use these effects. There's only what sounds good to you, and these specific effects together allow you to easily make recipes for unique and interesting textures. The included presets are great starting points and are designed by their team of professional sound designers. It doesn't take much to tweak to taste. The brilliant minds behind the signature sound of Heavyocity products, such as Damage, Gravity, and more, brings us that in-your-face, heavy sound we love right here to use on any sound we want. Here we have Saturation. The three modes are great selections of units that are known for a specific character, like the Vintage, which is an analog broadcast signal overload. We have Modern, a boutique preamp saturator. And then the Tube, which is a warm tube saturation. Crank them up high for aggressive distortion, or subtle for sweet harmonic character. Now, don't be shy, dive in and get to know each effect, because saturation alone has many uses. For instance, used subtly can add clarity to a dull sound. It can also be used as a form of compression. Each of these modes and the way they are used can be quite versatile. Next up, sculpting sounds with the Transient Shaper. Incredibly useful for rhythmic instruments such as percussion, drums, guitars, and really anything you'd like to sharpen, tame, or have longer sustain. It's a great way to sculpt your sound to taste. Moving on over to the 2-band EQ, we can then remove or boost frequencies with pre, which is before all the effects, and this setting can set you up to drive specific frequencies harder into the compressors and saturators for more character. Or switch to post, which is after all the effects, where subtle lifts and polishing might take place, or perhaps evening out frequencies as needed. Then finally, slam or soften and catch any unruly peaks with the limiter. Now that we know the individual effects, we can take it to the next level and modulate them with the Punish knob. By clicking on the Edit button here and designating which parameter, we can then set a range of modulation with the glowing white halo. And this is really where the power of Punish comes in. Dial in just the right amount for use across your track, or perhaps in your DAW's automation section, try automating the Punish knob in areas of your composition to build interest and movement for the listener. It's inspiring that with a few tweaks, you can add depth and emotion that breathes with your composition. I found this a very musical way to perform effects. If you haven't already, visit Heavyocity's website and have a listen to their audio demos. They have an entire world of sound that's worth looking into. But first, download the free demo of Punish and try it out on your music. There are links and more info in the description to get started. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and have fun with your sounds.